Hello everybody, my name is Denver Dark. I'm 19 years old, fresh out of high school, working as a park ranger at Caledon State Park in Virginia. My job is pretty easy. I don't usually patrol the park. My job is to sit in the radio room and wait for people to call in if they need assistance. This can range from someone needing the bathroom door unlocked to a drunken fight. A couple of months ago though, I had an encounter with some type of creature or maybe even an alien. I'm not sure at this point. This forever scared me and I'll always be paranoid of the forest. It was a normal evening at the park. I looked over at the clock on my desk as it clicked over to 6 p.m. Well, here goes to another night by myself. I said out loud as I saw all the park rangers packing up to leave. Another hour passed, and as I was eating my dinner, static started coming through the radio. After a couple of seconds of just the static, a girl's voice started to come through. "Hello? Hello? Is anyone there?" I paused for a second after chewing another bite of my food. I had never heard anything like this over the radio before, so I picked it up. "Hello, this is Officer Dark here." "Yes," she yelled before continuing her sentence. "Please help me. Something is chasing me." I was dumbfounded. The creepy part was she didn't say someone. She said something. I quickly calmed myself before responding. "Calm down, miss. Tell me where you are so I can send help out immediately." "I'm at the old watchtower on the northeast side of the park. I ran here after it chased me out of my cabin. Please, please, send help. I think it's close." "It's alright, miss. I'll send help out I was cut off by her. Shh. I stopped talking, listening to the radio. Then, I heard a very soft but aggressive growl come from the speaker. "Oh God, it's here." As she finished her sentence, I heard a crash of a window and a large thud on a wood floor. The radio cut out. I was in complete shock. Did I just witness someone die? After about a minute of me being absolutely glued to my seat with terror, I started to gather a plan in my head. I spun around in my chair and grabbed the old park map off the desk next to me. I unfolded it frantically, scanning it looking for an old watchtower. There it was, on the northeast side of the park, just like she said. To the looks of it, it would take me about an hour to walk there. I got up from the chair and walked over to the gun cabinet, unlocking it with the keys I had in my pocket. I grabbed the first gun I saw, a 12-gauge shotgun, along with some extra shells. I also saw the flare gun on the top shelf and decided to take that too. Before leaving the station, I made sure that I had everything that I needed. Shotgun, flare gun, flashlight, radio, pocket knife, and the map. I'm not gonna lie, I was scared to go out into the woods after that whole event. I also hated the idea of being alone, but I knew I couldn't just sit there and do nothing. As I exited the station, I was greeted by the cool breeze and a beautiful sunset of a summer evening. All of the night bugs and animals started to come out. I could hear the calling of the cicadas in the trees, while the crickets buzzed below them on the ground. It's weird because you wouldn't think that a breathtaking scene could hold such horror that the lady experienced. Since it was a long walk, I started moving at a faster pace than I normally would. As I was about 10 minutes away from the tower, everything changed. Once an amazing sunset now turned the forest into a pitch black that no person could see into, along with the deafening sound of silence as the cicadas and crickets stopped chatting. This was extremely odd. I had been in the forest many times at night, and nothing like this had ever happened. A few more minutes of walking later, and I saw the old watchtower. It was about 70 feet tall or so, with a hut on top of it. The watchtower had seen its better days. The wood looked very old, with it being damp and cracked in many spots. At this point, I was at the base of the tower. Right before I was about to go up on the first step, I got the worst feeling I have ever felt. My head started to spin. I was very nauseous and started to see stars. As this continued, I thought I was going to pass out. As the darkness around my eyeballs started to grow, everything stopped. I was normal again, except for one feeling. It felt like something was staring at me. I swear I could feel its eyes piercing into the back of my head. Its glare almost felt sharp, like a knife had been jammed into my side. I spun around as quickly as I could, holding the shotgun in front of me. Nothing. There's nothing, I thought, until I scanned the tree line in front of me, about 50 or so feet out. Oh my gosh. I let out as I see deep in the forest. A pair of two vibrant green eyes staring at me. I was struck with fear, my eyes not being able to leave the sight. My feet almost cemented in the ground. After about a minute of staring at me, it winked at me. It winked at me. After this, the eyes disappeared and went back into the brush. I didn't know what to think. The only thing that I knew was not to stay in that spot. I ran up the old wooden stairs as fast as I could, but then I remembered the radio call I had gotten earlier. I prepared myself for a bloody scene, but when I reached the top of the steps, the hut was empty. No blood, no body, no lady. The most disturbing thing of all, though, was it looked like this place hasn't been touched in years. The floors and desk in the room were both completely covered in cobwebs and dust. A large radio sat on the desk. It must have been the one that came through to mine, but that too was engulfed by the webs. Something very strange is happening. I just couldn't figure it out. On the side of the desk was a stack of very old newspapers. My curiosity took over and I picked one up. Date: 1978. Headline: Woman attacked and killed by the Wampus cat, locals say. This didn't make any sense. This couldn't be the same lady I just contacted. I needed to find out more, so I kept on reading. The next thing that I read sent shivers down my spine. The Wampus cat resembles a very large black panther, most known for their very bright green eyes. My blood ran cold. I needed to get out of this place right now. Right as I shoved the newspaper into my pocket and was ready to run, it was too late. Before I could turn around, I heard a sound. The same damn bone-chilling growl that I heard on the radio. I turned around as fast as I could, raising my shotgun. There it was, the beast itself. The Wampus cat. This cat was massive. Quite possibly the biggest mammal I had ever seen. It stood on all fours at a staggering height of at least 8 feet tall. It had deep old scars all over its body, probably from people like me. Its paws were the size of small dinner plates. The lips were completely bared back, showing its dinner knife-like fangs. And the most important thing of all, those dang green eyes almost staring into my soul. I didn't waste any time and pulled the trigger, sending a slug at my target. I landed the shot, but it barely did anything. The cat staggered back when the slug hit him, but that's about it. How is this thing still alive? The round had left a bloody hole in its torso about the size of a dollar coin, but alas, the creature was pretty much unfazed. I decided to run for it, booking it to the exit, only to be stopped by the huge feline pouncing at my back and pinning me to the wood floor. The beast raked its long claws across my back, leaving an extremely painful wound. It felt like I was being burned with a hot iron. I could feel my shirt already being soaked with blood. I managed to flip around on my back to face the beast. holding its head away from my face. Although I was able to keep its head at bay, I wasn't with the paws. It started swiping at my face, leaving those searing claw marks on me again. I tried to reach for the shotgun on the ground next to me, but I wasn't able to. Blood from the gashes started to seep into my eyes, stinging them, not allowing me to see. With nothing working at all and all of the blood I was losing, I started to give up. There was no point. I couldn't overpower this thing. And right when I was about to give in, thinking about all my friends and family, an idea sparked into my head. I reached into my pocket and pulled out the knife I had forgotten about. I flipped the blade open and immediately stabbed the cat in the neck with it. The beast reared back in pain, leaping off of me. This was my only chance to escape. I quickly got up and snatched a shotgun before sprinting down the stairs. I had a head start, but the cat was catching up. As I reached the bottom, it was already halfway down. I didn't have any time to spare. I ran immediately to the trails, not looking behind me. I could hear the big heavy footsteps of the beast on my tail end. I knew eventually it was gonna catch up, so I turned around, pumping 2 more slugs in it, staggering it again. I could tell it was hurt because it was moving a lot slower. I fired again in its direction, landing another shot with a bloody splat. Then the cat stopped running, turning around and slowly jogging the other direction. It finally gave up. This didn't stop me from sprinting back to the station. I used every bit of strength and willpower to make it back. As I busted through the door of the building, the biggest wave of relief came over me. I had won. I had beaten that thing. After attending to my wounds and grabbing a glass of water, I sat down in my desk chair, thankful to be alive. While reaching into my pocket to take out my phone, I felt paper. Ah, the newspaper. I pulled it out, scanning the article once again, realizing that I missed something before. The woman's body was found in the watchtower of Caledon State Park, her body being mutilated, even missing some of her limbs. Even though she was killed, many of the people in the park say that they can still hear her calling for help, just like that same night she was murdered. I was completely shook. I didn't know what to think. Was it a ghost or maybe a spirit? And right as I put the newspaper down, the radio buzzed, playing that same voice that started this all. "Hello?